Good morning, good evening, whatever time it is. How's it going, guys? This is mine and Mark's first podcast. Do you want to say hello, Mark?
Hi, Mark.
Oh, it's just ended before I seen the gun.
Hi,
Oh,
I'm
no.
Mark.
I'm Odge. How's it going? We thought we'd give this whole podcast thing a go. Me and Mark have been friends for a long time, for about 10 years, something like that.
Around about that, yeah. Quite a while
The,
now.
the joy of gaming has brought us together. We're living a little bit further apart from each other now, so we thought we usually have a chat online anyway. So we thought, why not turn a bit of a podcast, put the world of gaming to rights, and maybe talk about some other stuff along the way.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Hit it right on the head, Odge. Well done.
So we got a couple of things we're going to talk about today. But the first thing I wanted to get stuck into, if you don't mind, Mark, obviously, is the Doom Eternal trailer.
Oh, I can't wait.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen much of the trailer. I've seen some of it, and I mean, if it's anything like the Doom 2016, it's gonna be fantastic. Sorry, I did miss a bit. The part I saw was him walking amongst the other Marines, and they're looking shit scared of him, and he just pulls out one guy with a key card, and he's just like dragging him to. It's like that's pretty good.
I mean, it's nothing even to do with the gameplay, but it's just amazing that a character with like no dialogue has such a personality.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just everyone loves Doom Guy. He's fucking great. So I mean, this is to me, this is what like AAA games should be. You're so excited for this event. I had quite low expectations for the 2016 re-release, remake or reboot, whatever you want to call Doom.
Yeah.
But it was like one of the game of the year contender. It was absolutely brilliant. And the Doom, the Eternal trailer, it just seems to do what good sequels should do, where it's the exact same game. They've just refined some things and glued some bits on, and I was surprised the amount of detail and little sort of tweaks that it showed in the trailer.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah. I mean, as I just said, no, like they haven't changed. It doesn't look like they changed much. It looks like they just improved upon what they already had. Like,
Yeah.
I think one of the weapons as well was like, I don't know. I guess they got a few good new weapons, but one of them I saw was like he sort of pulled an enemy towards him. Yeah.
Oh, is that like a chain or something? I saw something like that.
It's like a
I thought he got
like
pulled. Oh yeah.
But yeah, as I said, it's like it's one of the games where it did everything really well in 2016, and instead of us just changing everything, then how about we just improve upon it? And do you know what the best part is? I'm not 100% sure this is correct. I hope it is. I think the guy's name is Mick Gordon, isn't it? Got the music last time.
Right. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing this music for this one as well too.
Fucking right. That's great.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's I've got that on my Spotify playlist. The soundtrack is so good. It's just so it's weird because it's just so metal. It fits the game so well, but it also it suits it fits Doom as well. It's not just like good on its own. It's just fucking great.
But sorry, what was that?
One of the strongest soundtracks in the last couple of years, I think. It's really, really good.
Yeah, but do you know the crazy thing is, I'm pretty sure I saw like a part of a documentary about Doom, and he was talking to that guy Mick Gordon, and I'm pretty certain at one point they say like they were thinking about going for a dubstep sort of track for the game, and it's like if there had been a dubstep track, the game wouldn't have been the same at all. It would have been like
no.
But the fact when you're going around killing these demons and just like shooting shit up, and then
it's fucking metal.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it needs to be.
And then the music kicks in and like changes every time there's some sort of action going on in the game. It's like I don't know, it's just like living,
Yeah.
Tell the
So there's three things I noticed in particular from the trailer, which would look like additions. The first is enemies seem to take regional damage as you attack them, which I don't think was in the original. I think like when you use the glory kills or the final kills, obviously they get sort of mulched up.
Yeah.
But at one point, Doom Guy's fighting one of the big guys with the guns for arms, and it looks like he's taking damage to his arm and taking damage to his leg. I don't know if it'll be a case of you damage his arm, he won't be able to shoot you, or if it's just cosmetic. If it's just cosmetic, I'm totally fine with that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just looks.
Sorry,
It
I
looks
just realised what you meant then. Yeah, I've seen bits like that as well, where you shoot a leg, bit of flesh comes off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like a lot of strategy with the game. It's more just like twitch reflexes, which is fine. But it just looks glorious to the eyes.
Oh, man.
Second thing I noticed was he's got like Doomguy's got like a lunge. It seems like so. If you've been playing Overwatch, Hanzo's new ability where he can like lunge to the side and backwards and forwards, it looks like he's got that. So he's got like a quick step. It looks like more than anything else. So you can quick step left, quick step
Okay.
right.
I know.
I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can do that mid-air or if it's just on the ground. But again, I think that's going to add a lot of versatility. More movement options, always a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, it felt slick, but it felt that sort of clunky. But anyway, more faster movements, fine by me.
Yeah.
And the thing I really liked, which I wasn't too bothered with to start with, when you see Doomguy's got new designs, he's got like a big fucking bayonet on his arm, because of course he has, because it's probably.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, like
twice
some of the mercy kills,
yeah.
it's just like right through them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's just fucking dicks people to death with a bayonet on his arm. So he's got that, and he's got a shoulder launcher on his left-hand shoulder. And what I loved about that was it looks like he's got multiple abilities. So one of the abilities is always a flamethrower, the close-range flamethrower. Another one was throwing grenades. So if I'm remembering correctly, the first game had grenades, but obviously if you're shooting your weapon, you've got to, you've got to stop shooting your weapon to throw a grenade. Now that problem just disappears. You can carry on shooting and throw grenades at the same time. It was like It looked like it was continuous fire, and then boop, a grenade flies out, and he keeps on shooting. It's just, what more can you want?
That's good.
Just
More,
glorious. Just
a lot more
glorious.
fluid then. That's
Yeah, pretty much.
But you'll
pretty
be
much.
playing.
So I'm.
Go on.
So I'm just pretty excited about the game.
Yeah.
In general, this is day one buy for me, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely for me as well. Like when the 2016 came out, I was like skeptical because of the previous one. I was just like, well, I'm hearing some good things, but I don't know. And I waited till it was on sale, and I bought it on sale. I've been telling people, just buy it. It's a fantastic game. It's a load of fun.
It is.
It's like the olden type of games, where it's just fun. It's like really a lot of good. But I was gonna say so you be playing it on console, though, wouldn't you?
I waited for that. Yeah, so, so I'm gonna get flamed in the comments because I don't own a PC at the moment. I might have, never have ever owned a PC, so I'm a console peasant. But yeah, I will be playing it on console.
So I want to ask you, there was a reason why I brought that up, because Doom for me on PC was really fast. It was like so fast. It was like I turned everywhere, just shooting. Switching weapons was instant because you got a number key, so it's just I was constantly switching between weapons and combos. But I mean, was it for you? Was it stuck to one weapon usually, or did you find it was quite slow paced?
I'm trying to remember how the game worked, because you had a weapon wheel, and I can't think if time slowed down to swap weapons. I don't think it did. I know you had the weapon wheel, and then you had the standard press triangle to switch between two different weapons, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I think we probably played different in the sense of I'd go into an engagement and I'd use two weapons, fairly fluidly, and then if I went to another engagement, if I was low on ammo for my shotgun, I'd switch to the the pulse rifle. Or, I can't think of the name of those weapons are. I know what they look like. How they fire, I just can't think of the names. So I wouldn't scroll through all 8 weapons. And I think that was why I didn't like Skyrim as much. It's going to be a bit of a tangent here, but playing it on PC seemed, when you have a magic build, you can switch between all the different your spells quite quickly. But then on console, you're constantly going through the menus, and I just got sick of it. So I restarted the game when it had a fucking orc with a warhammer. I was like, smash! That's all I had to do. It was just so much easier, and I just enjoyed it a lot more. So yeah,
I've heard they've really updated the system now on the 48,000 time that they've released it. So
what's this now?
Skyrim, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
after, you didn't catch that end, did you?
No, what was the update?
I said they've really updated it now after the 48,000th time they've released it. So,
Ah, I'm with you. Yeah, it's coming out on Tamagotchi next year.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. To be fair though, to Tom Howard, because he addressed it and he said, if you want us to stop re-releasing the game, then stop buying it. And he's not wrong. Really.
I would have thought
people
people would
keep buying it.
stop buying it on Switch. I mean, because I was
I
looking
know.
forward to it on Switch, and then when I saw the price, I was like, "Come on, man! It's like 5-6 years old now. It's like,
Yeah.
and the graphics are not as good
Yeah.
as other
If I was
like,
if I was 10 and this was my first console, I'd be like, oh yeah, Skyrim on the Switch. This is great. It's such a good game. I've never used it before.
yeah,
But everyone's already played it at this stage. It seems just weird, and like it's like a big RPG like that. Do you really want to play it on the go? Is that like an incentive? I don't really think so.
that's the thing. I
I don't.
would buy it. Like if it was 20 quid, then I'd be like, okay, fair enough. I could play it. When I'm traveling or whatever. It's just like something to play now and again. But I wouldn't spend
Yeah,
60 quid on it. It's a bit too much for an old game as well, especially. Like,
yeah, I know. I mean that comes down to Nintendo in general. To be honest, I think it's kind of weird because they have this perceived. They're like the family company. They're the nice guys of gaming. Because they're like the grandpa because they've been here since the start. But their
yeah,
business practices aren't really that great. I don't think. You try and find uh, discounted consoles or discounted games. They all tend to stay around the 30-40 pound mark. You don't get many sales,
no,
and
yeah,
the way they've handled YouTube content creators with using their footage and things it is a bit sketchy.
oh,
And
yeah,
and again, and some of the remasters they've had where Capcom have re-released sort of say the Devil May Cry collection. The first, second, and third games for like 30-35 quid, something like that, and then they re-released Twilight Princess for 40-45 quid, just one game because it's Nintendo, yay! Because Nintendo games are just better.
yeah.
Just like,
That's so
but
like.
I don't know.
I mean, that goes on to one of the other subjects we want to is like, is the Switch worth it? Like, to me, it is because when I was traveling quite a bit, it was like, okay, and I could play some games while I'm away, and it's not hard to charge and just play them on the fly, But I mean, some of the prices on those games, it's just too much. Like,
It's taking the piss a bit.
yeah, like I mean, Doom was on there as well. Like that's a fantastic game, but there's no way I'd spend like 60 quid on the Switch to play it. I
No.
mean,
And does it run? Does it run that well?
I mean, I haven't played it on the Switch,
Mm.
so I'm not too sure. But like, it's the type of game for me as well where I like to use a mouse and keyboard. So, there's no way I'd spend 60 quid on it for basically controlling the crane at that point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like it's just having it portable for portable's sake. I mean, the Switch. If someone turned up my door with a Switch and give it to me, I would be over the moon, and I'd be well happy. I'm not saying I don't like the console. I would like the console.
Yeah.
But you're talking 280 pounds to buy it. That would be what, $350? I'm not sure what it is in America. Something like that. And for a console which doesn't have the same performance as the original PS4 or Xbox One, it doesn't come close to a PC. For a handful of games, really, Breath of the Wild sold that console.
Oh
It
yeah,
really,
definitely.
really did. There's no doubt in my mind. There's a couple of good games that were released at launch, or at least interesting games, but that's sold it. That put it on the map.
Yeah, I mean it's the type of console where I'd say AAA games is not the best for it because I don't want to sit there and play well, I say Pokemon, would that be classed as AAA? I mean that's a fantastic game and it is well made, but
Yeah, I don't know really because they've been on handhelds. The main series has been on handhelds since Pokemon Blue and Red.
okay,
So I don't think you can class as AAA.
something like Pokemon or like say like Dead Cells just recently released. I feel that on Steam, but I bought that on Switch because I thought it's a typical platformer, pretty good game that I could play no problem, like just sitting down and get properly into it. But stuff like, I don't know, Doom or Skyrim, it just seems like, it's not something I want to sit down and sit there for hours playing on
Yeah,
the Switch.
exactly. It's
Like, it seems
like
like too
like
much for me.
Dark Souls or something like that, where it's just you need
Yeah,
to actually concentrate because it's a difficult game, and it's or like with the RPG elements. If you get into like a really good story, you don't really want to have that when you're at an airport because you're not going to be able to focus on doing that.
yeah. Well, like recently, I haven't seen it myself, but Octopath Traveler is like the old sort of RPGs, like turn based,
Yeah,
and like that's the sort of games I'd like to see on Switch.
yeah,
I don't like when you see like these like ports really that just over the top, and you have to actually concentrate on them, rather than just going through. Like I could play Octopath for like an hour, and then
yeah.
all right, then come back to it another time. So,
But I mean, this opens up another sort of can of worms. Where would you play a console where, say, Valve released a console, where it was like a portable handheld system where you played exclusively Steam games, which were under a certain sort of uh, you know, which are indies in nature, which are built for that sort of purpose.
what do you mean? Like if like indie games from Steam came to the Switch?
Yeah, well, not so much came to the Switch because they are coming to the Switch already. But if there was a separate console which had maybe was a bit was cheaper than the barrier to entry for the Switch, that was exclusively for these sort of these Steam indies. Because at the moment, and I say Steam indies because they're on Xbox One and PS4 as well. But there's been so many good indie titles released lately, and that would be the main appeal for buying the Switch for me. Like you said, it's just having these, especially like the Metroidvania type of games which are coming out.
Oh yeah,
Your Death Gambit, your Guacamelee 2, your Dead Cells. I'd love to play them on the go, but I'm not really willing to pay 280 quid for the console, as well as all these other. And how much are they going to cost on the Switch?
yeah, and I
So you
suppose
can get them on Steam, and it'll be a lot cheaper, especially in the sales, which I doubt will come to Nintendo.
yeah. I mean, what was it like? I think Dead Cells on Steam was £15 on release, and I'm pretty sure on Switch it was something like no, I might be wrong. Sorry, I think Dead Cells on Steam was £20, but on Switch I'm sure it was like £22, £23. So I added a bit extra. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why? Why should it be more expensive?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's licensing. Maybe Nintendo costs a bit more licensing, but still, it's like, you're making quite a lot of money on it now.
And going back to the 3DS, where I think before they had the Switch, which was a hybrid of the console and the handheld.
Yeah.
I bought a 3DS and don't regret my purchase. I've had some, played with some really good games on there, but I've gone back and thought, there's so many DS games I could pick up, and I just can't find them. They if a game doesn't sell that well, I'm not sure how they structure their production, but unless anything that's not first party from Nintendo, I think they must stagger the production, because if it doesn't sell well, I've had to buy most of these things secondhand off eBay, most of these games, and some things I've just got like a cartridge in an envelope, and it's like, oh great, it looks fine, but it's just an unusual sort of business practice,
It's hard. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same with everything else though. Like, once Xbox starts to lay out, then they don't really sell Xbox games. Like game shops aren't much anymore. Like, I mean, the original Xbox or the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
That's probably gone now. Though, I don't know. It's very rare stepping into a game shop these days. It's mostly digital.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's the way of the future.
Yeah.
I think the reason the Wii U suffered was because there was no good first-party titles. The Wii had some good third-party games, but again, you had games like Metroid 3 Corruption, which I loved, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which were great, the Mario Kart games, and that was enough for a lot of people to buy it. And I think there's a disparity between, the casuals and the non sort of gamers who bought it for the Wii Fit and the and I can't think of the game, the Wii Sports.
Yeah.
All the sort of family friendly games, and that was the reason I bought one, so I could play with my family. But
I don't know. Sorry,
go on. It's fine. Well,
I,
like for the Switch, I just think I can't really see it that being used in like a family environment like the Wii was. And are there enough sort of first party games, or at least console exclusive games? Because that's the thing. You say there's lots of there are lots of sort of these indie games coming and currently on the system, but I think Octopath Traveler is the only one I can think of which is an exclusive. And I think, do I really want to pick it up where I could just play it on PC or play it on console?
yeah, I mean, you're right about that. Definitely. Um, I mean, like if you want to play, if you don't intend like that, the main thing for me is like the Switch is very good for like if you're traveling,
Yeah.
and I think that was like you said. You think that's where where you thought the Wii U failed, is that it didn't have much first party stuff. But I think where it failed is that it was just that Nintendo aren't good at making it home consoles, where their strength
They're
lies
hit and miss,
is
and
more
they're hit and
traveling.
miss.
Well, it's more like portable stuff, like like the Nintendo Game Boy, Nintendo DS.
They've always been kings of that.
Yeah,
They've always
definitely.
owned handhelds. Yeah.
And it's like that's why I think that's why the Switch took off so well, is because it's a portable device. I see the Wii U, and I'm like, where the fuck would I want to play out in my home? You know, I got a PS4,
Yeah.
can have an Xbox One, PC.
It was just so confusing because it's like, oh, you've got the Wii U pad, and then but you can use the Wii controllers for some things, but you need the home pad for certain players, and other players just have. It's like, what the fuck? Like, just put some in my hand, Nintendo, please. Like, what's going on?
Do you Jay's his argument the other week about me having a Switch, and he said like,
No.
oh, what was it now? It's something like, he said, oh, why are you playing the Switch? Wait, why are you playing the Switch anyway? Like, you know, I was like, well, it's good for traveling. And he's like, what? What? So you don't plug it at home? I'm like, well, no, I got a fucking PC. Why would I plug it in at home? Play on a Switch? Like a PC? It don't make sense. Like that's the whole point of a Switch. Is like you can walk around with it, play it.
Jay doesn't leave his home. That's why he was confused. He goes to work and comes home. But that said, he's got no reason to go elsewhere.
Like,
Yeah. For those of you listening, Jay is a lovely strange shaman.
but like with a Switch, so I think it's pretty good expense. But yeah, as I said, it's like if you're not going to be if you're not going to be playing games portable that much, there's no point just get them on a console or like. But yeah, I mean the problem with Switch again is Nintendo has this habit of, well, I mean most consoles do now. They started doing this thing where they release a newish console with better hardware.
Yeah, no, I don't like this at all. Don't like this at all.
No, I mean at that point, like the first time they mentioned, but like, sorry, I'm going off track a bit now. But with Switch, it's like they've had a reputation for years of just updating their hardware, like pretty small details. Like one of them, I remember the Nintendo Wii. I was working in a game shop at the time. So like we were selling Nintendo Wii's. Guy comes in, he says like, I've got this game, but my old Nintendo Wii used to have a GameCube port on it, but I can't find it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And the newer systems didn't.
Yeah, and it's like I know he said his daughters loved like this dance game with me, and he said she couldn't find them. So I was like, well, that's weird. Like I know they definitely got them because I got one myself. And this is like maybe a year and a half after like they were released. And then when I asked my manager, he said, "Oh yeah, the newest iterations, they just got rid of the GameCube ports." So it was like, well, I mean,
I don't know.
why is it improved?
I mean, doing that from like one console to the other, I think is fine. If if you can't put it in, you can't put it in. But if it's the same system,
Yeah.
it should add features, not take features away. That's very naughty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad because that guy was a bit annoyed then because his daughters, well, their Nintendo Wii just didn't work. They had a new one. Now they can't play a game that they really like to play. So it's like, well,
Yeah, it just sucks.
yeah. But sorry,
I
when
mean-
you was talking about the consoles as well, I'm with you. I really don't like that they upgrading these consoles, like the PS4 Pro, and they got the Xbox One, whatever. I mean, at that point, I feel like when you just save up your money, just buy a PC. And just,
Yeah, I mean, before we go on to that, just to close on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
I never like had loads of money growing up, and I always had one console. So I mean, I'm so hard done by having only one video game console. Oh my God, I lived in absolute poverty. But I had the Mega Drive / Genesis. I had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and Xbox 360. So buying like more than one console, that sort of stuck with me. Where I think, can I really justify spending X amount of money for so many games?
Yeah.
The only time I've really done it was I bought the Wii and I bought a PS3. I bought the PS3 probably about 2 years before I got a PS4, and I'm not sure how much I paid for the console, but I bought that for, I want to say like 160, something like that, and bought all the exclusives I'd never got to play. And at this stage, I was like a tenner a game, so I bought like 5 games, 50 quid. And it was like your Uncharted. I think I got The Last of Us. Just can't think of an exclusive now off the top of my head. But all these different games which I hadn't had the chance to play.
Yeah.
And for the Switch, I can't see me doing that, because I can see 3 years down the line, I think, I'll get a Switch, and it probably would have dropped in price slightly. Because if you remember, the Wii never dropped in price. It's always like 270, 280, and I don't think it dropped in price until the Wii U came out, because he was still selling so much money.
I didn't realize
You're
that.
still selling so many copies, selling so many consoles. I can see like going to get Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild will probably be like 30 quid still in like 4 years. I just think, oh God, can I justify spending that amount of money on it? If you've got disposable income, or you buy in for a family member, then I think it's fine. But when it's out of your own pocket, I don't think it's worth it in the long run.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
If you have other consoles to play, that is, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back onto what you were saying about the sort of console 1.5 that they're having in these generations.
It's so fucking dumb. It's like
it is so fucking dumb. It is.
I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Like, you see these PS4 Pros and like, oh yeah, like I'll save up for that. Like, what? Just get a PC. Just like you're spending like £300 or £400 on a console every like couple of years anyway.
That you already have. That's the thing.
Just
it's because you already have the console. I don't understand why you want to get a new one. If I ever bought an Xbox, I probably would get the Xbox One X, whichever one is the most advanced one.
Yeah.
Because I may as well, because I don't actually own one. But I remember when when Sony and Microsoft announced these upgrades, and I'm looking on these YouTube videos like, oh, this is the PS4 version, this is the PS4 Pro. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fucking difference is. It looks exactly the same. Like, am I being lied to? I know there are differences, but it's not substantial enough for me to think, Jesus Christ. Especially when you look at PC and you see something running at like fucking 120 frames per second, and just like, oh, it just looks amazing. You know?
I mean, that's it. Like, so like with console, I didn't understand. Like, I played console for years. Like I did. Like, even when I had a PC, I still played console. But I know I just don't get the whole mentality of like you spend £350 on a console. I can't even remember now.
It's usually about £300 at launch, or like £280 at launch. That's how much they usually cost.
And then like a year and a half, 2 years later, it's like a PS4 Pro. I might be wrong on that, but like still, like, you know, even if it was 3 years, I've got PC.
I think it's only this console generation that they've really done this. So thinking back, I don't think the 90s were a weird time for especially for Sega, when I had all these attachments to run the Mega Drive. I don't think they ever released SNES or SNES type of hardware. But I mean, the PS1 had the PSX, the PS2 had the PS2 Slim, and the PS3 had the, I won't say PS3 Slim. It was a different model. I can't think of what it was called. But I know they were cheaper.
Yeah, that's
for the most part. For the most part, they were just the same console but cheaper. I think there were some differences. Like, I know the PS2 had built-in Wi-Fi that the others didn't, or it had like a built-in Ethernet adapter that the original didn't, or something like that. But there was additions as opposed to taking things away. But overall, there was a new addition that was cheaper than the original.
Yeah.
which would incentivize people from the other side to come over, or like PC players to come pick one up. Not we've slightly made it more powerful, and all your original PS4 peasants are trudging in 15 frames per second. You need our new console. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
The only reason I could see it is like they say about the PS4. I don't think the PS4 can do 4K. It's just PS4 Pro. If you're like, if you really love graphics and like, yeah, you got a 4K TV, then I could see an advantage on it. But I'm like, well, is it really worth spending money on another console that you already have?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like on PC, I've got like a 1066 gig. One of my mates now just bought.
Don't flex on camera, Mark. Don't flex.
No, I'm just saying, one of my mates just bought a 1066 gig, and he's like, "Oh, we were playing Siege," and he's like, "Oh, I just put Siege graphics up to the max." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Oh, because it looks really good." It's like, but you don't want those sick frames, like the new one. Just get those frames.
It's all about the frames.
Yeah. So I said to him, "You need to get 144 Hz monitor as well." He's like, "Yeah, I get it later." It's like, it's really important. You seriously need one.
Otherwise, it's just not gonna. You're not getting the full effect.
Yeah, but sorry, go on.
I forgot what I was gonna say. You carry on.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah. So the whole console thing is like, okay, I've heard Horizon Zero Dawn. People have said if you really love that game, go on PS4 Pro. If you got a 4K TV, but I don't think it's worth spending £350 for a console.
No,
that you've already got
for one. For a handful of games, really, to improve performance on. But again, you vote with your wallets, and if people spend money on it, then they're going to incentivize companies to make it.
Well, that's it. Like you say about that, that's what, like that kind of brings us on to with Sony and Microsoft now. So, do you remember that guy years ago? Well, like Microsoft was on top of consoles.
This guy with the tattoos, Halo 3 tattoo on his arm.
No, I don't think so. This guy was, I don't know, a douche. Like I think he was in charge of Microsoft, like for the console sort of area. But they sort of pushed Xbox One as like this media streaming device, right? Where you can watch TV and you can watch sports, and it's like, where are the fucking games, man? Seriously, like
I know exactly.
And
exactly.
But like, I think what the turning point for that was when they said, "Oh yeah, we don't want any pre-owned games."
It was the always online. It was the always online. That was the tip.
That was it. Like the video I was going to mention is the guy that's he gets asked. He said like, "Oh, look, I had a few questions."
So is this the CEO? I can't think of his name. Is this the CEO of Microsoft at the time?
Yeah, like I think he was the CEO at the time. I think he was for a certain division. I don't think he was the CEO of Microsoft itself, but
CEO of Xbox.
Yeah,
that sort of branch of Microsoft.
But he got interviewed, didn't he? And I don't know, it was years ago. And the interviewer said, like, "Oh," or maybe he said that I've had people in service ask me, but what about me? I live on a submarine. How am I gonna play my games, connect online? He goes, "Yeah, well, there's an answer for that."
I do remember this.
Yeah, well, there's an answer for that. It's called the Xbox 360. And right then, he was going, "Go fuck yourself. Seriously, go fuck yourself. You absolute dick."
It's just such arrogance. And the thing is, I mean, we've both had Microsoft consoles, and we want them to do well. I mean, Sony have been killing it for PS4. They really have. They've had so many good exclusives.
Yeah. Well, I was go on.
But the thing is, competition is what brings out the strongest elements of both.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Microsoft I never had an original Xbox. I didn't like the controller, and I just wasn't that fussed. But it had some good games. And then the 360, really that took off because Sony got so arrogant, and they released the PS3 with this 4D graphics, which fanboys defended at the time, which was amazing. Do you remember that, the 4D graphics?
No.
It was like graphics that would degrade and change over time. I don't.
What? Okay.
Yeah, honestly, 4D graphics was a real thing. But the PS3, I think it was 2 years longer than
Sorry, did you say degrade over time? So, like, do you mean as time went on, your graphics would become shitter? Is that what you're saying?
It was. No, what Peter Molyneux said for Fable.
Oh,
with
Peter
the
Molyneux.
game.
Okay.
No. It wasn't Peter Molyneux who said it, but what he said for Fable with the world would constantly change.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did as 4D graphics in every world. But it meant nothing. It's like you can't. That's not like a feature. That's just some. People have got to program that into the game. And it just doesn't make any sense. But I think the 360 did so well because of Sony's hubris, because they took so long to release the fucking thing for a start.
Yeah.
The price point was, it was so expensive at launch, and there were just no games to play for, I think, what was it, 2 years before Uncharted came out? Or like for anything decent came out. I think the only thing I remember them having at launch was like Genji 2, which was a shit PS2 game, sequel to a shit PS2 game, and Gran Turismo. I don't think what it was called, but it wasn't the full game. It was like, it was by today's standards, it'd be like an early access version of the game.
Yeah.
So Microsoft killed it because everyone was keen for the new console, and everyone flocked to Microsoft. And the thing is, Microsoft had so many problems with the Red Ring of Death, and it was still like the best-selling console for a long time.
Yeah.
So that just shows you how much Sony fucked up. And then for this generation, it's turned around again, where they've tried to punt the Xbox One, #stupid, as this old media device where
it's like no one gives a shit.
No, and even the most ill-informed people know how fast technology is moving these days, and you can't say like this is like the one box to rule them all, and forever bind them under your TV, because things just change so quickly. And I'm glad you brought it up, because when E3 came out, I watched the Microsoft press conference, and I was Team Microsoft. There was so many good games announced, and then it just dawns on you that they're all multi-platform. There's a handful of games which I'd like to play, but I can't think of any which are exclusive to the Xbox. Any games which are not on the PS4, they're on Xbox or PC. And if I was going to invest, I'm going to invest in the PC.
Yeah.
Why would I buy the Xbox?
Like, we both had Xbox in the past, and I'll be honest, like, I was an Xbox fanboy. I had Xbox Live when it came, I think 6 months after it came out, and I was playing Rainbow Six Online, Split the Cell, Halo, all these games, and I had Xbox for years. I think I don't even think I had a PS3. I think I had a PS3, but very early on, I just never played it, and then
there's nothing to play.
I mean, yeah, nothing to play.
What were you going to play on it?
But I think what Xbox did really well at the beginning is they made it online really well. They just, it was solid. It was well worth paying for. And with the PlayStation, it was sort of, I know it was hit or miss. So I was like, I don't really want to be buying a game and then the servers go down or it's not working properly.
Exactly.
But Xbox were killing it. They were so good at online. I was willing to pay £40, a year, which is it's pretty good price for a year online of games, for the service. But
at the time, yeah, definitely.
But then when they did that thing at E3, where it's we're just gonna be a streaming box, and we're gonna have sports, and you can watch loads of TV, and basically we got no games. But not only that, you're not gonna be able to have any pre-owned games which you can play. You'll always have to be online. If you're not online, it'll brick the console until you go back online. It's what the fuck is this? What? And then you see Sony's conference, and they just basically wiped the floor on them. They pretty much just said, look at you guys, you fucking idiots. And they even point out, we're going to allow pre-owned games. You're not going to have to be online all the time.
The way I think about it, you go to a restaurant and you get a nice steak. The steak is the games, and you got the ketchup. Not ketchup, oh god.
You put sauce on steak.
Yeah, the sauce, which is that's the additions. That's the the Blu-ray player. That's the streaming services. That's the additions. If you didn't have the sauce, then that's disappointing. You've still got that lovely fucking steak. You're not going to spoon the sauce into your mouth. You want the steak.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. So I mean, we've been pretty negative, really. What can they do to pull it around? What could they do for get you to buy an Xbox One S, Xbox One X?
They, I think they need to go like properly in the game, and they need to invest in like some sort of into exclusives and good exclusives as well. Like, I mean, I don't know if they're looking at maybe just not bothering now. I don't know, because the way you can do things now is like Sea of Thieves. I'm pretty sure that's an exclusive to Xbox One, but if you have an Xbox Live account, you can play it on PC as well.
Right.
So
Because they do it, yeah, because they're doing that quite a lot, where you can play. They're not. It's not quite Xbox exclusives. You can play them on PC as well. So
yeah,
they're getting their money back in terms of game sales. But I don't know if that's affecting the bottom line because they're losing out on console sales. I mean, it probably isn't, because that's why they're doing it, to get more sales. But long term, I don't know if that's affecting the brand.
so what I think they might be doing, because they're allowing this whole, if you got an Xbox Live account, you don't need an Xbox anymore, sort of thing. I think they're I know my guess is in about 5, maybe 10 years time, they'll be looking to have games online, just stream them, like from servers. So I mean, there are services now which do it, but they don't do it that well. I mean, 5, 10 years down the line, maybe we've got technology to do it. I mean, that'll be honestly, it'll be in America, when it really, unlike every place with good internet, not us.
Because I mean that comes down to, opens up a new kettle of fish where, I mean, not so much Nintendo because they're just the retarded cousin in the corner doing it. But Microsoft and Sony have been trying to emulate PC since really the last console generation, and PC sales have dwindled in certain regards because of how popular consoles have been. So will we get to a stage where consoles are they're making sort of, I don't know how you'd word it, like gaming, just gaming PCs for the console market? If that could be essentially a thing where you can just buy these pre-packaged, uh, very powerful systems.
Hmm.
I don't know.
No.
Basically, I'm saying other lines between the two, because lines between the two are blurring already. So is that going to become more of a issue in the future?
So what I mean is, what I think they'll probably do is, like, have you seen the Steam Link?
No.
So the Steam Link is like it's a small device, it's like the size thinner, but about the size of a Raspberry Pi.
Oh no, sorry. I think I have seen it. Yeah, I'm yeah.
Okay, so like what that does is it's just like a link device. So like you stream games from your PC, like a proper PC. So you're not playing it on that device. You're just streaming it. And I can imagine that's what they'll probably do in the future. Is like say, well, if you want to play games, what we'll do is you can buy this device now for so much, but it's not going to be like £350. It's probably going to be like more like, I don't know, 40, 50 quid. And then you can pay for service like so much a month where you can play these games on our server.
Right.
That's probably the route that they'll eventually go down.
Because I mean, that was the new CEO chap, which his name I can't remember, of the Xbox. He seems like he's really trying to. I mean, he's been handed a poison chalice, but he seems to be doing a really good job of keeping the Xbox afloat. And what I like is the Xbox Game Pass, because I think that's a really consumer friendly addition to the console.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap as well for PC.
It's pretty. That's for PC as well. What?
Yeah, the Xbox Game Pass. That's what I'm saying. You can buy the Xbox Game Pass. I think it was like £1 a month or something. I don't know if that was just for like a first few months or something, but yeah, you could pay like
£1. I'm sure it was something like £15 a month or something like that for the.
Yeah, and then there
was. So you're essentially renting games.
Yeah, there were certain games then which you could go onto the store and just download and just play. So, but I mean, yeah. Sorry, go on. As you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, doing that, that suggestion, I don't think that's going to be possible in the next sort of console generation. I know at E3 they've there's 3 developers who they purchased. It was the We Happy Few developers, Ninja Theory, and another, which I can't remember off the top of my head. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll be able to bang out some good exclusives from them. But again, that's not going to be until 2-3 years down the line. I think all they can do at the moment really is just stay afloat until the next console generation, where they've got to, I think marketing a console like they did with the One X, as opposed to the original Xbox One, where it's the most powerful system.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to go. Most powerful system with the best performance and some good exclusives. It's like we said with the Switch. Like how many Switch games do you own? It's sold. Breath of the Wild sold that console. If you've got like the next big AAA game on the the new Xbox console, then that's going to turn heads.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, let's hope that guy turns it around and actually makes it a gaming console and not just a media center.
Because that's what we all want.
What's that? Sorry.
Because that's what we all want. We want Microsoft to do well. They just haven't been.
Yeah. I mean, I said competition makes like the best hardware. It's like you're just constantly fighting to make it the best, and that's what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
But you mentioned We Happy Few. Then have you seen
that? So I've seen briefly the new. I've seen like reviews here and there and just gameplay of the new game.
Yeah.
I said that's the thing, the new game, because I followed it quite a lot when it first came out, when he was in early access, and he looked. I'm not sure if it was early access, but when he was in India at that stage, and it looked really good. And I remember us talking about it at the time, where it looked like a bit of an offshoot of like BioShock, and the scene stuck with me was when it's his birthday and he's smashed on that pinata. And he sort of funks out of his psychedelic state, and he's actually beaten like a rat or some big dog or something like that to death.
Yeah, they think it's pinata and it's rat.
Yeah, and I thought, Jesus, like this could be a really clever game, really strong story. And then when it was released, it just became it was like a survival game with all these sort of not really interesting side stories, and I think that disappointed a lot of people, myself included. And now that's turned around and it's become a full AAA game with 3 protagonists, I think, in this sort of same world, and they all. So if you guys are not aware, We Happy Few takes place in a sort of dystopian post World War II England, with the odd slightly offensive Welsh character as well, a bit over the top accent, but there we are. And everyone's on this drug called Joy, which has given them this permanent sense of sort of happiness and calmness, to take away from the fact of how bad their living conditions are. I mean, I haven't played the game, but that seems to be the essential bit. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential for good storyline there, and the new game, the final release of the game looks very interesting. It's just strange. It's the cycle it's gone through.
Oh, the reason I mentioned it is because you don't like Jim Sterling, do you?
I don't. Sorry, Jim. I know you listened to our first podcast, obviously, and I'm not a fan.
So, like, I played it in alpha, like same as you. I saw the E3 like gameplay trailer, and I was like, "Fucking hell, that looks like a good game." And I mean, I saw a zero of it. It's like, was E3? That's what they're showing. That's promote the game. I like the idea. Looks good. And then they released the alpha, and I thought, that's weird. How can they release an alpha of this type of game? Is there like just a couple of missions or something you can do? I don't know. But I played it, and the beginning part was that birthday scene. And you're thinking, yeah, it's great. And you start looking around, you start reading shit, and you're like, it's got some lore here. You're reading newspaper clippings of what happened or what's going on at the time. And I thought, yeah, it's pretty good. And then I get chased out, and I wake up, and all of a sudden I see a hunger meter, a thirst meter, a sleep meter, and I'm like, what? This is not the game I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a proper, story-driven game. So I was a bit gutted. And
I remember when the initial backlash happened and they released sort of a mode where the survival elements are toned down. So that's kind of what I worry of with the new game, because I think that the story they've improved on a lot, but they've still got the survival elements there. So it's almost like they've glued bits on to make it like a more appealing product to what the original trailer was.
yeah, well, like I refunded it afterwards because I thought I don't want to play another fucking survival game. I've had enough of them. Like at that time, there was like loads out. I think there was fucking Ark, there was Rust. It was like I don't need another one. And I left a review, and I said not recommended, and I wasn't harsh with it. I said like, you know, this could be a really good game, and it might be a really good survival game, but it's not. I wasn't expecting a survival game. I was expecting something like BioShock or like, you know, a story-driven game. And the amount of hate I had on it, of people saying I should have done my fucking research, you know, all this shit. And, like, I remember like talking back to this guy and I said, but, you know, I saw something at the E3, like, you know, that's what I thought the game was about. And
It
he's like,
wasn't marketed as a survival game, so when you first played it, that's, you know.
yeah, and then his argument was, well, you should have fucking researched it. Next time, research the game you're gonna buy. And I was like, but hang on, isn't this what I'm doing right now? So the next time someone looks at a review, and if they read my review and they realize, oh yeah, it's a survival game, they're doing their research. Because I looked at the reviews, I didn't really notice that it was a survival game.
And the game was in alpha.
Yeah,
It's not even fully released. So how can you sort of argue, you know, it's being changed so much at that stage. How can you say, oh, you need to research the game? It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I don't know. It just annoyed me because I was like, I wasn't even being harsh with the game. I said it could be a good game. It's just no one was expecting. Fucking people hate it.
I mean, that's the problem with it. Because potentially it could be very good. I think if they concentrated on just like a solid, 10-hour story,
yeah,
with the 3 protagonists, maybe as they've done, then it could be excellent. I might pick it up, but I'm not going to be paying full price for it.
Don't
I think I'll wait till it's like 15 quid, 20 quid, something.
don't pick it up right now. There's a reason why I mentioned Jim Sterling. He's released a video, and the game is buggy as shit. Like, it is so bad. Yeah, like he's shown him playing it, and he's even saying like, I think in the video he said he's only ever said that the game should have a recall, like maybe once or twice, and he said he's not even joking. This game should be recalled back because it's just broken. And like everywhere he's going, there's someone like, I don't know, either floating around or they're just, like he said, one person he talked to and just died. Like they didn't get hit by anything,
Wow.
they just died. And he's like, what the fuck is that?
Oh wow! The thing is, like, the game seems to take a lot of influence from like something like Dishonored as well, where there's combat mechanics and stealth mechanics.
Yeah.
And the last thing you fucking want is you're stealthing around and all of a sudden some random guard pops up in front of you and you're caught. I mean, that's a controller breaker. It really is. Like, why
Well, like
play test your fucking game?
well, for him as well, like he said I think he said in the video he's recorded a few voice lines to be used in the game. It's like he said he backed it as well on Kickstarter. Like he was like, yeah, this is gonna be a good game. But you're saying they've even credited him in the game as well, even though they didn't use his video lines. But he was saying like it's just broken, just doesn't work. And he pretty much says it's just like downright disgusting considering they had so much support from a AAA company like Gearbox as well, and it shouldn't be released in that sort of state. But yeah, you gotta check the video out. It's just funny. It's like him with 15 minutes. Like one mission he goes over and he says about you carrying this guy and you're walking down the street. He said it's so fucking long. Like he said the entire video would be him just walking down the street carrying this guy to an objective. It's so slow.
Jesus
But
Christ.
yeah, I mean that's it.
That's why I play games. Right, so we've been fairly sort of negative in the gaming industry to write this podcast. So what are you playing at the moment that you're enjoying, Mark? What is something that you're proudly playing that makes you proud to be a gamer?
There's a few games actually I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing well, I have got a list, but just to be sure.
So many you just can't remember.
Oh, well, I play Siege quite often, but like I've been playing a lot of Warframe recently. how have I never got into it? I don't understand. It's so good. Like, there's so much to do. Like, the first hour, like, first, tell a lie. First, like, 8 hours is probably a hurdle, because you don't know what you're doing. I have no idea. And even then, like, it doesn't really hold your hand and, like, telling you what you gotta do. So sometimes you're looking up, like, the wiki pages, like, what is this fucking item? Where do I get it from? How do I farm it? How do I get these items? What they do. It's just so much. And they have events every day. They go alerts for certain things. Like I say, events every day. They go events pretty often. Like, this weekend, just now, we had, like, usually you sign on. It's like, oh, there's alerts for you to get different blueprints. Okay. They're pretty good. But this weekend, there's, like, 3 different events going on. And I was like, what the fuck? Where's this all come from? I couldn't do them because they were just too high for me to do. Like, it was all, like, level 50, level 60 events. And although I got pretty good stuff, I'm gonna get that much good stuff, so
yeah,
takes plenty of farming. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Warframe right now. That's definitely one to check out if you haven't, Odge.
I mean, it definitely looks cool. Seeing people playing it and seeing the customization you can do to your arm and that sort of thing looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's not just the armor though. It's like it's everything. Like the ship as well. You can make like your home. Like I've seen people's Twitch stream Warframe, and because like they got done Christmas events, they got fucking tree lights hanging from the ceiling. Like, they just customized their ship. Like, but not only that, the quests are good. Like the story is pretty good. I heard some like people not happy with the way one of the main quest line goes. But to be honest, I quite liked it. It's quite good, and you unlock certain abilities as well from doing these quests. And I know it just fills up the lore a bit. It makes you understand and gives like a sort of dark but deep storyline in Warframe.
So what is the general story then? Because I don't actually know much about the story.
So I can't. It's like an unwritten rule. You can't really tell people, or it's too much. So like, I know I don't want to give anything away. So like, the start is you wake up, you're in stasis as a Warframe, and you get woken up by the Tenno mother. I forget her name now, Lotus, and she says, I have to be honest. It's been ages since I've done the beginning. It's like fucking 5 years ago. So I just continued. I continued like
no pressure.
Yeah, I just continued on from my old character, so I'm not too sure at the beginning. But yes, you wake up. There's like different factions, and you're fighting them. But you, I think at the start, you get like they're hunting you down for some reason, and you get this thing on your leg, and that's part of the story. You got to get the device to take that off. But yeah, I can't. It's hard because I can't tell you too much because one of the main parts, one of the main storylines, like the quest towards quite far in the story, is how you find out what the Warframes are. So, yeah, I mean that's where they're going down, and it's pretty. So
you just gotta play the game for yourself, pretty much.
Yeah, it's well worth it. It's pretty good.
I mean, the core gameplay and the customization and the amount of because I haven't played the game really, but I've looked on the the subreddit for it, and the different sort of armor types looks and the ways you can control your character seems really interesting.
Yeah,
especially in a PvP sort of setting.
I don't really play PvP that much, but I mean it's fun to be a space ninja. So.
Oh well, that segued me perfectly onto the game I'm playing, which is Neo.
Oh, go on.
So I'm a massive sort of Dark Souls Bloodborne fan.
I think we're running out of time there, Odge, so okay, I'm joking.
How long? God damn it, you cut me off! No,
go on.
So Neo I was interested in. It was dubbed sort of Samurai Souls when it first came out. It's a very Japanese sort of take on the Dark Souls formula, but I was surprised when I played it, and it's actually a lot different. And it's a lot more complex. So it's got like a Diablo type loot system, which I still haven't quite got to grips with.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, the loot system's really interesting. Yeah, I think on your first playthrough, there's not a lot of customization you can do. You just sort of unlock better loot the more you play.
Yeah.
But you can sort of take abilities from certain items to put them on the weapons you're using. You can reforge items, so you're essentially like rolling different stats and different buffs onto your weapons and armor.
At a cost, I'm guessing, yeah.
At not a big cost. Yeah, it is at cost, but it's not a huge cost. But the loot system itself seems very extensive. I'm only getting grips with it at the moment, but I didn't realize it would be such a thing. But the gameplay itself is it's just so good. It is like a weeb's wet dream. It is so fucking cool. You're the first white gaijin samurai, obviously, who learns how to use Japanese weapons on the boat over to Japan.
Am I right in thinking gaijin is outsider?
I think so. Maybe I'm just being racist.
Okay.
I think that's what gaijin means. But you essentially have 7 different types of weapons you can use, and they all play very, very differently. And there's different stances in each weapon. So there's a low stance, medium stance, high stance. And high stance is slow but lots of power. Low stance is fast but not so much power. And they all play very, very differently. And there's different strategies for each. Very, very difficult, but rewarding.
Very difficult. Assuming
it is a tough fucking game. Oh, it's a really tough fucking game. And it is one of those games where you can do a lot of damage, but you can take a lot of damage, and you can quite easily. There's this one type of enemy, which is they're human enemies, but majority of the enemies are yokai, so they're sort of Japanese demons or oni. Right. And there's one which is you see him so often. He's this huge hulking guy with a battle axe. He tends to be quite slow, but sometimes if he catches you, he just one shot you and you're just gone. It doesn't matter what level you are, you'll be taken the fuck out. It's a really good game. I expect to be a Dark Souls knockoff, and it's definitely Dark Souls inspired. But it's like saying another third-person shooter is just copying Gears of War, when essentially it's just a third-person shooter.
I get you.
And
yeah.
I think Neo's got initially had a bad rap, but then when people played it, it looks glorious. There's so many different types of armor you can equip, which are all sort of very authentic Japanese armors and shinobi armors. You can upgrade your stats very similar to Dark Souls, but you also have skill trees. Yeah. So you get new attacks such as parries or AoE attacks with your weapons. Kind of similar to Onimusha, but a lot more, expanded a lot more than that. And then you have ninja and Omu magic. So ninjutsu. So ninjutsu is like using shuriken. Poison attacks, attacks that paralyze, that sort of thing, and magic is just OP, basically. It's one of those games. I always go through this cycle of games where I play it for 10 minutes, think this game is fucking shit. I've got no idea what's going on. I'm going back to like bloody Tetris or something that I've played and I'm comfortable with. But once you get used to the basic mechanics of the game, it's really, really good fun.
I might have to give it a try. So we got confused and we you saw I'm thinking about buying Neo, and I thought you meant Nier Automata. I was like, I've already got a PC. Didn't even think. But then when you said
that's on the list as well.
Yeah, but I might have to give Neo a try because although I don't know, it seems like painful to me to do that sort of thing. Like Dark Souls, because I won't play it unless I'm with you guys, because I'm like I don't hate myself enough.
But you didn't like you don't hate yourself enough. But you like Bloodborne, and it feels more like the gameplay feels more like Bloodborne because it's fast.
Can you dodge?
But you can only dodge. Yeah, I don't think there's a roll. I think you can only dodge.
Like sidestep sort of dodge, or
I'm trying to think. Yeah, sidestep or dodge. I'm trying to think how it works. So your armor, you have an armor rating. So depending on how heavy the armor you have, is a percentage of how much you can carry, and there's a stamina which dictates your overall maximum carry weight. I think the dash, no matter what weight you have, is the same speed, but the lighter percentage you have. So if you're 30%, then 30% or under, you're very fast. 70% or under, you're medium, and if you're 100% or under, then you're relatively slow. I think the dash, I might be wrong on this, but I think the dash, no matter what armor class you are, is the same speed. But the lighter armor class you are, the more you move in the dash, and the less key you use when you dash. So again, similar to Dark Souls, you have health and stamina. And if you run out of stamina, unlike Dark Souls, you are fucked, because the key in the game is a very, very good mechanic. And it's a bit daunting at first, but it works the same way as the stamina bars you think would
Sorry,
work.
are you saying key as in like KI or something? Or
Ki, yeah,
okay.
Ki. It's essentially the same as like a stamina bar. But if you dodge or attack, whatever, or do any actions like that, you use up your key, goes down. If it reaches 0, then you can't dodge or attack. You've got to wait for it to recharge, and it recharges relatively slowly. I mean, it doesn't look that slow, but when you're in a fight, it is fucking slow. If you get hit when you got 0 key, then you're stunned for about a second and a half.
Yeah.
And that is a long fucking time. And you will, if you're stunned, then you can get sort of visceral attacked, or you're just vulnerable to a big hit. But the other mechanic it has is, I can't think what this is called. I think it's key regain, where very similar to Gears of War, where if you attack, at the end of your combo, you've depleted sort of a certain portion of the bar, and a bar will come up, and if you can time it right, you will regain a certain amount of your key back.
Okay, so it's kind of like Bloodborne, then, where like if you got hit, you can regain that health as long as you got the hits back.
Yeah, kind of, except for stamina instead of health.
Right. Okay, I get you.
And you've got to trigger it manually, and it seems difficult at first, but you get more and more used to it the more you play it. And there's different abilities where you can replenish more key, and it means it's a really, really important skill to get down, because dodging is important, but blocking, I think, is more important in the game, and you've got to be able to block when you can, and know when to attack and know when to get out. Okay. But essentially, it looks gorgeous. The gameplay is really, really fluid and really, really fun, and it's just, if you like anything to do with Japan, then it's just fucking shit. It's quite funny because you meet lots of historical. It takes place in Japanese feudal war, and you meet lots of Japanese real life historical figures, and you sort of fight them for. You don't actually kill them because time paradox, but you can actually fight them and you can beat them. And I saw a funny meme where it's a picture of William, the main character, and he's like, "I've only been in Japan for 2 weeks and I'm already more Japanese than the Japanese." Right. And that is essentially the basic part of the game, where everyone's wanted to use a katana and be super weak, and you can't.
Okay.
But at a cost, because it's fucking hard. Another thing I should say about the key regain is so a lot of the demons, when they sort of spawn, they spawn these pools underneath them. They don't hurt you, but they slow down your key recovery, or basically nullify it to nothing. So if you're inside, you can't regain key, so you're very, very vulnerable. But if you can time it so you can use a key pulse, that's the one.
Yeah.
It'll still dissipate. So that's like another sort of layer to the gameplay. It's a really good game. At the moment, I bought it for 20 quid on PSN with the 3 DLCs, and I'm loving it.
I might have to check it out then myself. But yeah. I mean, if I'm feeling like I want to hurt myself.
Yeah, if you feel like life is too good at the moment, and you feel too confident, then that'll knock you down a peg. It really will. And as much as I love the like the PvP side of things. I say that I don't like the PvP side of things at all. I think it's a good element to have in a lot of these games. Sorry, not PvP. PvE. As much as I like the like the Sun Bros from Dark Souls, I don't like to use summons. I like to do it all myself, and it is challenging to do it all yourself, but it's worth it.
No, fair enough. You might have to check it out. But on that note, should we call it now? Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end. Yeah. So, for you guys listening, I hope you enjoy the podcast. We're probably going to do a few more in the future. We're just trying things out at the moment, so I think this is going to be on YouTube, and we may do a sort of a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, if we are able to, and if things are successful.
Yeah, we're going to try it.
Yeah, exactly. See how things go. So, thank you, Mark.
All right, thanks, Odge. I'll see you again, guys.
Yep, try guys.